your forecast first. Sponsored by Natex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you. We've got clear skies out there. No snow falling tonight. Man, is it cold. Take a look at our temperatures. 8 degrees right now. You factor in the wind chill, and it feels like 6 below zero. It feels like 2 in Springfield. Out the door tomorrow morning. Pretty cold to start the day. We're thinking 1 degree with the temperature, nearly 10 below zero on the wind chill. Another round of snow tomorrow night, another round on Sunday, and then a break as warmer temperatures move in. We'll talk about that coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
If you're still in need of a shovel or snowblower, you just might be out of luck. Plus, saliva testing is nothing new for the U of I. For which county it will be.
And he lost the speaker's gavel. Now Michael Madigan has resigned. What the new speaker has to say about his predecessor's legacy.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
But we are out of shovels. Only a couple of snowblowers left. It's just been going crazy.
With the harsh winter weather we've had this week, shovels, salt, and other snow necessities have flown off the shelves. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Stores all around central Illinois are dealing with a shortage of snow supplies, and some stores say they may not get a shipment of new stuff until next winter.
WCIA 3's Bryce Beeman joins us. So, Bryce, you called several places across the area to talk about supply and demand. What did you find out?
Well, I called multiple stores, as you mentioned, in towns all around central Illinois. Most told me if they weren't out of everything, they had limited supplies left. Paxton Hardware and Rental was almost overstocked with shovels until the snowstorm hit on Monday. Now he has no shovels and limited snow blowers and ice melt. He says because the storm and COVID, the companies that supply them with the winter supplies are also having shipping problems.
We're doing fine, and I thought we had enough ice melt to get by for the rest of the season 2 weeks ago.
He said another big item sold was heat tape for pipes. The store has since reordered, but they're not sure if what they ordered will come in before winter ends. Back to you.
Sooner the better, for sure, just in case.
Definitely, just in case. Hopefully no more snow, though.
Yeah, we'll talk to Kevin about that, Bryce. Thanks. Well, stores across central Illinois have been sold out or have low supplies. And if you're in need of a shovel, snowblower, or another item, might just be easier to make a phone call than running around and checking multiple stores.
While those items are in short supply here in Texas, it's food and water. Roughly 325,000 homes and businesses there are still in the dark. Millions more are without clean running water, if it runs at all. Burst pipes are running homes, and bottled water is scarce, so some are being forced to boil snow. Meanwhile, in grocery stores, lines are long and shelves are often bare after the storm crippled the state's food supply network. Oil production was cut and several refineries were shut down in Texas because of the storm, and that's driving gas prices up. Champagne gas prices have risen over 7 cents per gallon in the past week. GasBuddy.com reports they're now averaging $2.63. That's 19 cents per gallon higher than a month ago and more than 26 cents per gallon higher than a year ago. Central Illinois has been dealing with those brutal cold temps, and a call for help from one shelter was answered in less than an hour. See You at Home posted on its Facebook page they were looking for people to work part-time at their men's shelter, and they say that need was filled quickly.
Here's an update about a murder case from last year. The man accused of shooting and killing a woman in Paris is now facing more charges. Christopher Glass was charged with another count of first-degree murder today. He's also charged with aggravated battery with a firearm and possession of a weapon by a felon. He pleaded not guilty. Police say he killed Kimberly Mattingly in April. Aaron Kaiser was sentenced to 8 years in prison for his involvement. Deputies are investigating after 2 teenagers were shot today in Sangamon County. Happened on East Enterprise near North Albany in the village of Grandview. Police say both 17-year-olds were seriously hurt. A car was driven into a ditch and the windshield shot out. Police have a 16-year-old suspect in custody connected to the crime.
Here's an update for you. A former tech coordinator for Blue Ridge Schools pleaded guilty to defrauding the district of around $336,000. Joshua Raymer told the district computer switches had failed and they needed replacements. More than 100 switches were replaced, costing them more than $400,000. Raymer then sold those parts as his own property. He faces up to 20 years in prison. The U of I Police Department has a new specialty unit called COAST, or the Community Outreach and Support Team. The department hired its first social worker last month. The goal is to eventually hire more and have them co-respond with officers in mental health emergency calls. There's also behavioral health officers teamed up with certified therapy dogs, you see there, to help people in crisis.
A home in Urbana is badly damaged after a fire on Hill Street near Harvey. No one was inside at the time. The front of the house, though, went up in flames. Crews were able to get to that home in 2 minutes because it was so close to a fire station.
Having them respond within 2 minutes is tremendously beneficial. Having people that can get in, get it knocked down, and save as much as they can.
Cause of the fire remains under investigation. The Champaign Fire Department lent a hand by covering for the Urbana fire station while they were fighting that fire. Champaign County officials will soon be able to get regular COVID-19 tests. The county board passed a resolution that would allow the weekly testing of county departments. $140,000 from the general fund will be used to cover 2 months of COVID-19 testing for county employees. The tests will be the saliva-based tests from the U of I. But the board plans to have OSF administer the tests once they reach an agreement. Not everyone was on board, but County Executive Darlene Kleppel says they have to pay employees to go to quarantine if they are exposed. So weekly testing may be beneficial.
If people have been exposed, which it would save the county money to get a quicker result back on the test.
So for me, this is just a duplicate spending on a service that is already available.
Now, the resolution needed 15 votes to pass. It got 16. Some of the board mentioned the Sheriff's Department may already have been vaccinated. So this would primarily be for those in the clerk's office and other county departments.
Across the state, testing revealed more than 1,900 new COVID cases over the last day. Another 72 people have died. Meanwhile, the positivity rate's slow decline continued again, dipping to 3.3%. As for vaccination rates, the state is averaging 61,000 shots a day. So far, nearly 2 million doses have been given out in Illinois. More than 472,000 people are fully vaccinated. The National Guard is joining the vaccination effort. They're staffing mobile teams that will bring the vaccine to people who can't travel to bigger vaccination sites. These teams will be made up of around 18 National Guard members. These smaller regional vaccination sites are meant to give people in underserved locations more access to the shots. The National Guard will be helping at the State Fairgrounds site in Springfield. Appointments there are booked through the next 2 weeks.
He was the most powerful politician in Illinois for decades. Today, former Speaker Michael Madigan called it quits. Madigan resigned his office in the State House after 50 years in elected office. He was the longest-running State House Speaker in American history before his party chose a new Speaker last month. Madigan leaves under a cloud of an ongoing corruption investigation. His successor, Speaker Chris Welch, reflected on what Madigan's tenure meant in a conversation with Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton.
He called me last night, and, that was another one of those emotional calls because, all you can think about it's an end of an era. It's historic. They're going to write books about Speaker Mike Madigan's 50 years in office, and it's because of his strong, sustained leadership that Democrats, have supermajorities in both the House and the Senate.
Madigan's resignation is effective immediately. The Chicago Democrat, known as the Velvet Hammer, will handpick his replacement in a meeting in the 13th Ward this weekend. Madigan remains chair of the Illinois Democratic Party. A newly hired superintendent is backing out of his contract after backlash from the community where he was hired. David Martin signed the contract with Altamont less than 2 weeks ago. Tennessee native said he was ready to do what was right for students and the district, but in a resignation letter to the board, he says community backlash was why he made the decision. That backlash was related to his wrestling career and his time on the Jerry Springer Show 20 years ago. Martin went on to say he also felt some of it was because he was gay. He said he knows there's a long way to go in promoting tolerance and equality.
Leaders in one city are working to provide much-needed services for students who don't have their own place to call home. The City of Champaign Township Supervisor says he has a plan to get rid of homelessness in the Champaign School District. He says there's already a way to get families into homes, but there needs to be better communication with agencies to make it happen.
we want to work with Unit 4 schools to a greater extent to ensure that they are able to, A, target the families that need assistance, and then B, smoothly get them to our offices to ensure that we can provide them assistance.
In another part of central Illinois, the Vermilion County Regional Office of Education says they have 265 students identified as homeless, but that number should probably be higher. They say the pandemic has made it difficult to identify students who need help because so many of them are working remotely. And we have a follow-up on a restaurant in Monticello. It's closing after 5 years in business. The owner of Bergie's Place, Pete Bergstrom, unexpectedly died last month. The restaurant started out as a pop-up inside the Steeple Gallery, then moved to its current location on the square in 2016. On its Facebook page, employees thanked their customers for a great 5 years in business.
A lot of money will soon be headed toward a local food bank. They have to thank for it.
Plus, Illinois barely beat the 2 worst teams in the Big Ten, while Coach Brad Underwood is calling it a learning experience.
Kevin, is still cold out.
Still very cold out, and that is going to continue here over the next few days. But there is some warmth that is on the horizon. 21-16, the 21 high is what the normal low should be. Snow tomorrow, a system for the weekend, soon a warm up. We'll show you that next.